Actually, just over 2 years. I joined in June 21, and now we're, as you know, we're in October actually. So it's gone very fast. It's been an incredible, let's say, 24 months. Lots has happened. We've launched a lot of products in the meanwhile. We've also started designing, the next generation of both ICE and EV products. We showed some of our EV concept, as you know, last August in the UK. I'm talking about August 22 and then August 23 in South Africa. We did, of course, the Oja range. We did the pickup, global pickup concept, and we did a Thari vision. So if you can imagine, 5 or 6 show cars, some production vehicles launched. Scorpio N got launched. We launched the year I joined. In fact, almost a month I joined. 700 was launched. So a lot of activity in the company. It's been a very good time, I think, to join a company. I think when you talk about timing, it's probably the right place and right time. So that I've enjoyed. I've enjoyed the sort of 2 years so far. So India itself is in an inflection point. The growth of the country, connectivity, aspiration, all of that. And then what we are therefore undergoing at M&M is a reflection of what's happening in India and in the world in general. The world is opening up. It's truly becoming connected and flat. And I think therefore what we are doing internally only reflects what's happening outside. And this drive towards electrification, that's a huge inflection point, as you mentioned, for us. We've launched a new sort of umbrella brand. You saw that, the infinity symbol, or infinite possibilities, as we call it. All our born electric vehicles will be under that umbrella, which we showcased that new logo as well in South Africa. So, on the farm side, we launched Oja. I know we'll speak a little more about it. But again, it reflects the sort of ambition and aspiration of India. And, what we design merely sort of reflects that big change in society. Today, people are not buying our vehicles to get from A to B. They're actually, it's a social mobility more than, physical mobility. They are moving in life. And, we offer them those products to take them there. And that, I think, is actually more important than what we are just doing internally. So I think for designers, it's not new. Designers always, through history of industrial design, if you look at sort of 100 odd years of industrial design, it's always been about sort of being able to foresee what's going to be the shifts in society. And you spoke about new buyers. So Chandan, I needn't tell you, today a whole section of buyers are women, who work, who have their own money, and then, you are also angling for that share of wallet. So it's not, a buyer is not a male, sort of a certain stereotype anymore. Our new buyers include women and, like you said, younger audiences. How do you adapt to that? And we saw that coming. So for example, the Thar, a lot of our customers are actually women. Now, did we design a Thar for a woman? I don't think so. We designed a Thar to be a Thar. And whoever resonates with that philosophy of the product will buy the product. So the same thing is happening in our BEVs. We've tried to design the best BEVs that you can with the kind of presence, the performance, technology. And then I'm sure it will therefore resonate with certain, sections of the market out there. And they could be women, they could be men, they could be older, they could be younger. But surely the common thing will be that what they see as a product and the value we'll deliver in terms of technology, safety, performance, will resonate with them. So we're not getting so specific that we're designing only for a particular kind of person. This is really the new age Indian in all sort of respects. A lot of people asked, why did you launch or why did you showcase a range of 5 EVs? And if you see them, they're actually very, very different. Each of them, they're across 2 brands, first of all, or they were when we showcased them. We had done them as Twin Peaks and B, and now we've gone sort of infinite possibilities for the entire range. But each one is very specific in terms of who it targets. So there's something common. They want electrification. They want a strong product. they want excitement in their drive. But the way we have, and this is where design comes in, because you know they're all on one architecture in Glow, but we have 5 different body types. So the BE05, which is, you know, like a fighter jet on wheels, will appeal to some people. On the other end, you've got the BE09, which is a large grand touring, you know, off-road coupe. It'll appeal to a completely different profile. But like I said, the common thing will be that they will look for electrification. They will look for exciting products first, which resonate with where they are in life. And then, you know, you have this range. Then, of course, we showed Thari as a vision as well. So, of course, the project started before I joined, and I think the team here has done a phenomenal job. We also have, you know, the Mitsubishi agricultural, you know, side to it. They created a joint team. A lot of our engineers went to Japan, but our designers, you know, it was a unique opportunity because the Oja is a platform, you know, with so many, with 4 or 5 different variants, in fact. Right from the small utility all the way to large. And so it's a challenge and an opportunity because you're doing it for the first time, such a wide range. And the opportunity was that you could have a lot of common elements that run across the family. And you know, that's where you can bring in innovation. So for example, the projector lamps, the DRL, daylight running lamps, not seen on tractors before. Now, again, it comes back to the point I made about aspiration and where India is going. The young farmer of today is as connected as anyone else. You know, he sees the best products, you know, overseas and here. And he or she says that why can't we have this in India? So it's for that sort of untapped potential, the Oja, you know, came out. Of course, we've got all the technology packs, you know, all the farmer aids, if you will. And yeah, purely in terms of aspiration, innovation, you know, bringing in DRLs, you never thought you'd see a tractor like that. So when he or she is driving the tractor and one of our SUVs hopefully passes, he or she feels that, wow, you know, this is like my SUV. You know, that's the level of respect we want to give to the farmer, and that's what we also want to push in the industry. You know, we are leaders and you have to behave like a leader. I think it's very important that leaders behave like leaders, you know. This is a issue, of course, we all grapple with, but you know, Velu's team in MRV is the closest to therefore what's going on in the ground. And you know, like you said, 3 years, we are, yes, 3 to 5 years ahead is where we plan. And B, you know, the rapid change. And therefore, SDVs or software-defined vehicles give you that opportunity to change things as they develop. So what's very important is to establish a framework, an architecture, electronics and you know, E&E architecture, which is our InGlow, for example, in BEVs. And then you're able to connect the vehicle and update anything through OTAs, you know, over the air. Over the air is, I think, going to be the way to do this and to stay ahead and to stay always contemporary with what's going on. So you have the framework, which is InGlow, which is future-proofed. You know, the computing power is, you know, Velu-san describes it as something truly phenomenal. My colleague, you know, Vinod from Purchase, he also has said the chips they use are mobile phone level chips, you know, the nanometer, something or the other. So they're almost not automotive chips anymore. They're that future-proofed. And once you've got this framework or this platform or this E&E architecture, you can then sort of keep updating and refining and you know, moving ahead through OTAs. So when we define a product, so again, you know, you saw that we were sort of industry leading when we brought the Adrenox system into 700, you know, the 2 screens, etc. And when we were thinking of the future, we were seeing the direction, you know, real super premium vehicles were going. We're seeing what's happening in CES. We're seeing what's happening in the software world, the mobile phone world, connectivity. And then we said, look, we need something which gives us, you know, the driver and the co-driver can stay connected and through the HMI system. And internally, we launched the, you know, the 3-screen proposal, which goes from edge to edge. And we showcased that not only in August 22, but also in August 23. And that will be the mainstay of our, let's say, human-machine interface. So all the ADAS, all the driver assistance systems, everything will connect to the human being through this three screen. Yeah, and a co-passenger can have a separate video conference. They can watch, they can surf the net without disturbing the driver. I think that's very important. So the balance between driver distraction and giving features is important, and hopefully we'll strike that right balance. But you're right, these things are becoming important, and to stay ahead therefore of the curve in the planning phase is super important. And this is why you have to shoot for the future. 3, 4, 5 years in the IT world and in the mobile telephone world is a huge amount of time. In automotive it's not, because you could just be designing and engineering a car for 4 years. But in the mobile phone world, probably 6 generations of telephones would have come out in those 4 years. So you can see the sort of speed, right? Of course, we have our unique set of operating conditions that we have to fulfill. But there's no reason why we can't be the most contemporary in terms of tech. Yeah, premiumization, I think, you have to think of it in a couple of angles. One is, of course, materials and all of that, The second is, the ease of use. That means, can I, through a mobile phone, access everything in the vehicle as an owner? That's also something. Can I unlock it? Can I lock it? Can I ask it to park? Can I call the car through like a valet service? These are really high-end features. But what's also going to happen is that in the design phase itself, you have to think of what materials you're going to use in the car. See, tomorrow, when the sustainability angle becomes very, very predominant, I would say, and it will come. It's already happening in many other industries. And I think India is one of the countries which is at the forefront. We banned plastic bags and single-use plastic long before many other countries did. And I think sustainability will become a predominant factor. So now when we are designing our BEVs, for example, and in the ICE, we are already looking at materials which bring in some of this. So 50%, those bottles on the table, we have a textile we've developed now which uses 50% PET from drinking bottles like this. Recyclability of plastics. So I think premium will take another direction. It won't only be about leather and wood, but it will be about what you are able to bring into your vehicles holistically that actually help the environment. I think that will become the focus of premiumization. So we're seeing this in other industries. See, if you ask someone directly, oh, would you buy this or not? They find it hard to respond. But if you give the option and the choices, many a time we're seeing now they're slowly shifting to make more eco-friendly and sustainable choices. So this is happening in clothing, this is happening in shoes. If you see the slowing down, funnily enough, of fast fashion, people are much more conscious of how much they buy, what they buy, where it's made. So the story of the product behind the product itself is starting to become very, very important. On the other hand, one of our investors in the BEV side of things is BII, which is a British investment sort of fund. They are also very, very keen on promoting, so it's not just having a EV, but it's also the rest of the story. Recycling, recyclability, design for dismantling, how do you break down the car, what happens to, so they are also, aligned to our own Mahindra sort of goals of doing this. So we are very serious about it. We have made a start, you'll see that in the BEVs. And then as time goes, I think these materials will also become more accessible and available. So for example, I gave you this example of the 50% PET fabric. Actually, no one in India made it at all. So we worked with our fabric supplier for automotive seating to actually develop that for us. So that's the step we are taking. Because fabric for cars is very, very different from fabrics for garments. Right? A a seat has to be tested for at least 1,000,000 cycles. That means getting in and out 1,000,000 times. And the fabric has to survive that. For UV, for degradation, flammability, so yes, sustainable can be a nice sort of buzzword, but it's also got to meet these very stringent, standards. So you can't say, okay, I'm just going to use some jute on the door. It has to go through the entire development and validation process. So I think fundamental shift we know is going to be in electric vehicles. Is that I think that everyone knows. But the difference is today or from now onwards, Chandan, I can truly say that Indian brands can go global. Truly, because there are some with ICE. There's always that hurdle, right? There's some emission norms in a certain market, or there's powertrain and this and that. I think with electrification, I don't think anything's become easier necessarily to enter, but you have a product which potentially can enter other global markets, and you'll see a lot of this going in both directions. Therefore, and I truly think that will be a game changer. That you will be able to have products from created, in India, selling anywhere in the world, because I think the entry barrier to EVs is lower than ICE. So A, they are being encouraged anyway globally, and B, that's where the market is moving. So more than ever before in our industry, you said you're right, third largest industry. I think we can, as a creator and maker of automotive products, India and of course Mahindra within that can truly go global. And that was why we anyway showcased under that theme Go Global in August this year. But today I truly think we have those products in the country that we are creating that can be sold anywhere in the world. We'll be competing with the Teslas and BYDs of the world here anyway. So India is not an isolated market. So when you have this kind of size that you talk about, third largest, it means you are anyway part of the global market. India is not sort of so specific that nothing else comes. So you are anyway even here competing in a global field, and that also allows us therefore to go outside India with brilliant products. And I think that's truly my vision of what's going to happen in the future, and not too far in the future.